more in your gauge, but I do expect more tomorrow. So the areas that have had some significant rain today, once the rain gets going tomorrow, odds are a lot of it's going to be runoff. The ground's not going to be able to soak it up, so you'll likely hear about at least flood watches, which we have in effect for some folks, but some flood warnings. Can't rule those out going through your day tomorrow. Elsewhere, I think radar showing very lower totals here in the gauges across much of Tarrant and Dallas counties, Collin and Denton. So everyone well less than an inch of rain across a good portion of the Metroplex. Not bad at all. Okay, here's our bigger picture here of what's going on. It was such a beautiful start to the day with all that sunshine, comfortable temperatures this morning. Yeah, that sunshine is gone, and it's likely going to be a while before it comes back. So this piece of energy is moving through. Notice back to the west, San Angelo, Lubbock, there's a lull in precipitation. So that's why I do believe we get a little bit of a break late evening hours and at least for a portion of the overnight before things start to ramp up once again. So I briefly mentioned that flood watch. It's not officially in effect today. It begins tomorrow morning and goes into tomorrow night, also known as 1 a.m. Wednesday. So basically this is a Tuesday flood watch. Now I will tell you, Johnson, Hood, Erath, I mentioned how much rain you guys had today. I'm surprised you're not in this watch. You may get added to it. Either way, I feel like anywhere across North Texas, because of the amount of rain we're expecting, we could have some flood concerns. And that means that those that are in the flood watch, 1 to 2 inch totals, isolated 3 or more, I think that's feasible for a lot of areas because of how much precipitation we are expecting in a very short period of time. So key points here, the scattered showers and isolated rumbles we have going on now, not severe. I do think we will see a weakening and also diminishing of this wet weather going through your evening hours. So coverage was pretty high this afternoon. We'll drop it to about 20-30% late this evening. And then we're going to ramp things back up tomorrow. Not only do we have a flood threat tomorrow, but there is a risk for severe storms, all modes of severe weather. So what does that mean? We're going to talk more about that, and I'm going to show you the future cast showing exactly where we think these storms will be and at what time. So we're going to take a quick break now. When we come back, we'll talk more about your Tuesday forecast. to just kind of reboot and start over. Okay, everybody, Ali Turiano in the Forewarned Weather Center. We are tracking showers and storms today, but more importantly, tomorrow is the bigger weather alert day, and that we think coverage will be much higher, but also we have a threat for severe thunderstorms. So at this point, marginal to slight risk. And I will say, I think the greatest chance for a severe storm, I-20 southward at this point. So a slight risk, what does that mean? That is a 2 on the 1 to 5 scale. There are some ingredients favorable for a few severe storms, but they're not going to be widespread. It doesn't mean every single area of North Texas in this slight risk is going to have a severe thunderstorm, but it does mean we've got some conditions there. So this is the Storm Prediction Center, their way to kind of put you on alert, like, hey, the threats are going to be there, at least for a few of these, so we want you to be weather aware, have more than one way to receive severe weather alerts, but also the WAP, having that live radar is so great to use, especially if you have to head out at some point tomorrow, because I think we have more than one round of rain and thunderstorms. So let's talk about those rounds. In the morning hours, it'll be pretty widely scattered. We're talking a decent shot of rain for many of us early morning. The strongest storms will likely be well south and west of the Metroplex as we get into parts of central Texas. So I don't necessarily think we have severe storms around DFW in the morning, but I do think it could be a wet commute for some folks. And yeah, some thunderstorms will be out there. Are you flying tomorrow maybe out of DFW or left field? There are going to be delays. If there were delays today and nothing was severe. So I expect some travel trouble definitely through the morning hours and even into the afternoon. As we go through the afternoon, the severe threat and the storms will start to shift eastward. So western counties get to dry out first, but I-35 corridor east, we still expect more shower and thunderstorm development. And it's at this point in time, I'd say afternoon, from noon, 2 o'clock, we could start to see 1 or 2 severe storms, and that threat will continue going into the evening hours. At this point, we still believe really I-20 southward and southeast in the afternoon is where we could have those severe thunderstorms. We're talking Henderson, Anderson, Navarro, Ellis, Hill, Freestone, Limestone, McLennan. So going into central Texas is where we think the best chance for severe storms will be. It doesn't mean we won't see one to the north. It's just the chances are a little bit higher as you head south of the Metroplex. So let's talk about our severe threats and what we feel could take place in some of these storms. Well, what I want you to pay most attention to is notice the highest threat tomorrow. It is the flood threat, because there is a greater chance of a heavy rain thunderstorm producing flooding than there is of severe weather in your county. I want you to know that. Then comes wind and hail, which is still, there's a chance. I've got it in the lower portion of that medium. So up to $0.50 and up to 60-mile-an-hour gusts. So 58 miles an hour or greater is considered a severe thunderstorm. Quarter-size hail or greater is considered a severe thunderstorm. So I think we're talking generally that lower end severe storm, but 1 or 2 of those could produce some bigger hail. Now, the lowest chance is our tornado risk. It is low, but it's not 0. So when we say that, we mean, could we have a rotating thunderstorm? That is a possibility, but I still think south of I-20 is the best chance for that. The more north you go, you are away from where some of that wind shear, those rotating winds will be. So I think our northern counties do not have that risk at all tomorrow at this point. So let's talk hour by hour. We still have some showers and non-severe rumbles on radar now. That activity will continue to spread east and become a little more isolated as we go through the evening. I think by midnight, most of us are quiet. And then here we are now at 4 a.m. We've got these warm advection showers. So very warm, moist air, showers starting to pop. Nothing too crazy yet, but coverage is likely going to ramp up a bit. I think it'll be around for a lot of us for the commute. And then we see more activity develop as we get to the noon hour. We're going to look west, and it's what those individual thunderstorms are doing that could play a huge role in your afternoon from the Metroplex endpoints eastward, because we do think some of these will be strong to severe, producing very heavy rain up to half-dollar hail in one or two of these, and those gusts that could get beyond 60 miles an hour. So this is at 4 o'clock. Here we are going through the evening, potentially a few more thunderstorms back behind that initial line. Now, I will tell you, I think our temperatures are going to be close to 70 degrees, some of us staying in the 60s all day. That doesn't bode well for a big severe threat. I think that is very good for us. And once one round moves through, it'll likely stabilize the air a bit, and the second round potentially not as intense. So we'll have to see how things play out. But I think this is an early afternoon threat for severe weather that starts to shift eastward as you go through the rest of the day. By 1 a.m., we are rain free, and that is when our flood watch will officially expire. Again, not everyone in the flood watch, but I think everyone should be prepared for that potential. So here's how I'm playing this out. 90%, pretty much everyone has a chance for rain tomorrow. That chance for severe weather, much lower than that 90%. More like 15% for your county to have the damaging wind and hail threat. Widespread through the day, things quieting down in the evening hours for us from west to east. I think most of us are quiet on Wednesday. I've left in a small rain chance, but I'll tell you, I think it's just we'll be dealing with some clouds, on and off, some breaks in those clouds, and a very low shower or rumble chance, not severe. By Thursday and Friday, increased coverage a little bit more. We'll keep it at 30%. Temperatures will generally be near 60 in the morning, mid 70s in the afternoon, scattered showers and thunderstorms. As of now, I think our severe threats are low both of those days, but this is obviously several days out, so we'll have to see how things play out as we get closer to Thursday and Friday. So for now, Tuesday, tomorrow is your one severe risk day of the week, and then just in time for the weekend and for moms, it is looking fantastic. Those mornings feeling nice in the mid and upper 50s, afternoons in the 70s to about 80 degrees. It really doesn't get much better than that. So to reiterate, we're here tracking showers and storms for you this evening, tonight, and then tomorrow, all hands on deck for that low-end severe threat, but also a flood threat that'll be around starting in the morning and continuing through the day. So be sure to have more than one way to receive severe weather alerts. We will be here tracking everything on air and online for you throughout the day. I'm going to leave up radar for you, and don't forget Fox 4 News starts at 4, and we will continue on through the evening. Thank you all so much for staying with me. Be sure to stay safe out on the roads and stay with Fox 4. We'll keep you forewarned.